Hello, let's have a look at the Svord Pheasant. This is a friction folder pocket knife. This knife has a blade length of 7.5 centimeters. It has a drop point blade. According to Svord, this handle is called, or the material is called, polypropylene. As you can see, it has brass bolts. This knife is made in New Zealand, and it is, in my opinion, the most simplistic folding pocket knife design ever, almost. It is a friction folder design, which means the blade is held open with nothing more than friction, well, and your hand. So there's no tension bar, no lock, no ring. It's just two handle scales, two bolts, and a blade. When you open this knife, the pressure between, the friction between these two scales and the knife is what keeps it open. Now, when you hold the knife, your hand covers the extended tang of the knife. Now, once you've cut something wet with this knife, like a piece of fruit, it's important to wipe off the blade, otherwise the blade will rust. And I know this because I forgot to wipe the blade after I cut an apple with it. So because of that, I had to sand down the blade. You can actually still see some scratch marks from the abrasive paper. This knife is flat ground. It does have a secondary bevel. On this model, or on this particular knife, it is mirror polished on the edge, but that's because I stropped it. They do not come like that. However, stropping a knife is actually a lot easier than some people may think. This is, like I said, a very simplistic knife. Now, as this knife is less than 3 inches in blade length and is non-locking, this knife is legal to carry in the UK. And because it's legal to carry in the UK, it's probably legal to carry in most other countries around the world, and certainly in most European countries. Anywhere where a Swiss Army knife is legal to carry, this thing is probably also legal to carry. This knife comes in many different colours, from orange, red, black, green, pink, blue of course. They also do some metal versions such as brass. Having checked Svord's website before starting this video, I believe they also do a giant version of this knife, which has an 8-inch blade, which is a pretty big blade for a pocket knife. The price point on these knives in the UK is around £17, which I think is a very good price for such a great little pocket knife. Like I said, I think this knife is an excellent choice for cutting fruit or opening packages. And once more, it is legal to carry within the UK. According to Svord, the handle material is polypropylene. I'm not sure what the blade steel is. I haven't seen it anywhere, and personally, blade steel isn't really much of a big deal to me, so I don't really check. So I apologise for that. This knife is very, very light, especially for its size. It is a good pocket-friendly carry knife, although the tang may get a bit annoying in the pocket. Now, as you see here on the extended tang, we have a hole bored into it. I'm not really sure what that's for, if it's for anything at all. However, you could attach a lanyard. Although if you do attach a lanyard to this knife through that hole, as you can see, you may have a problem closing it. It will stick up a bit like that. For this reason, I do not have a lanyard on this knife. This knife can be found at HeineHanes.com, as I said, for £17. I also forgot to mention they do a wooden version of this knife. I'm not sure what the wood is though, although it is double the price. From my understanding, a lot of people use these knives as a project knife. What I mean by that is they'll buy this knife and they'll take off the scales and they'll make their own, most likely out of wood. And I think that's a very good idea, as this is a budget knife. Well, it is a good quality knife for a good price. I suppose it definitely is a budget knife. All in all, this is definitely a good option, especially for UK legal carry. And in my opinion, it is good value for the money. This is one of the few knives that I personally do carry. I don't like beating on my knives. I don't like the idea of scratching my knives, but this one I don't mind so much as it is cheap and it does the job. In my opinion, the best uses for this knife is cutting fruit and opening packages, but I see absolutely no reason whatsoever why you can't whittle wood with it or even do with carving. Perhaps not the best option for a bushcraft knife, but I see no reason why you can't do that, although I'm not sure how strong the handles would be in terms of hard use whittling on wood. Although I dare say this knife definitely could be capable of feather sticking or making a feather stick. Well, that concludes my thoughts on this Svord Pheasant. It's definitely a very good knife, and I do recommend you check these out if you haven't already. I'm sure you'll like them. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching and goodbye.